Welcome back to Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I am your host, KG Smooth. Welcoming back one of my favorite people in H-Town. She is known as the Tox Doc, and her latest book, Talking Toxicology, Recognizing, Understanding, and Reducing Toxic Exposures, is available now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely Dr. Noreen Khan-Mayberry. Excuse me. I know your name.
Yes, you do, KG. And thank you so much, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
all of the listeners on this wonderful Sunday morning that we've blessed to open our eyes and see.
I know.
It is, it's amazing.
The first Sunday of 2019.
The first Sunday of 2019. What an honor. And I am so excited to be able to be here and just talk to you and talk to the listeners and, reach out to my fellow Houstonians because, there's so much that brings us together as opposed to divides us.
That's right.
And in
Absolutely.
2019, I'm calling it the year of yes.
Okay.
No no's. When everybody says, are you going or nah? I say, are you going or yeah? Because I'm saying yes.
Yeah. Okay. So are you going to adopt, I think it was television creator Chandra Rhimes who did a real
Did she do a year
of yes.
Did she really? And I
She
love
did.
Shonda Rhimes. I love it. I love it. Oh, so yes. Auntie Shonda, I am adopting your year of yes.
Yeah, she did. And she said it opened up a lot of great things in her life.
Mindset.
Yeah.
Mindset and, claiming it, believing it, having that faith, especially on a day like today when we talk about faith, we really have to understand how hard it is to practice that faith, because when things get hard, sometimes it's like, but why? Why have you forsaken me? Why isn't my faith working? Well, that's the time when faith has to kick in.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
So that's, that challenge, you have to go through that challenge to get to the other side and, just reach that next level. And mindset is definitely a part of it for me. I would have never, transformed and grown in the ways that I personally have grown without having to adjust my mindset. And so I think that's so important. And as we get into those health tips, I'll talk about that some more.
Well, yeah. Well, let's get into it.
Yes.
Dr. Noreen. So with 2019 being here and health still being at the top of everyone's list, health is wealth.
Absolutely.
I mean,
the greatest wealth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's priceless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally.
But, and expensive at the same time.
Literally.
If you
Expensive.
and it's such a shame that, if I want to eat clean,
right.
I have to pay for it tenfold versus I can get, 10 nuggets for $1 at
exactly.
a fast
That is a
food
fight
joint.
that we at Nicole's Garden, the nonprofit that I founded, that we struggle with. But the reason that we founded it is because we want to expand access to all. Expand access to the freshest, cleanest, most organic foods in a way that is cost effective, in a way that I can show you and the average person who maybe has zero green space. When I say green space, I mean grass or soil,
Right.
to grow inside, indoors, on their counter so that they don't have to spend $4 on a head of kale or a head of lettuce. They can grow that indoors.
Grow that right. Yep.
Yes.
Yep,
So
yep.
that's what we're about. So we'll definitely,
I love that. And I love that you started Nicole's Garden and has been talking about that for years. I think your first
Absolutely.
time on the show was maybe about 4 years ago.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
we were founded in I think at the end of 2014.
14. Okay.
Yeah, we got
So,
our
yeah, that is
501c3.
right.
Yeah, because 2015 we found out that we were retroactive approved. So we are a 501c3 organization. And, we want to combine, like I'm in the space program professionally. And so I wanted to take some of that NASA technology and make it accessible to people. Because a lot of people think that, fresh foods and growing foods is something that you have to have a green thumb for. Well, space technology enables people to do amazing things in small packages in wonderful ways. Look down at your smartphone if you don't believe me.
Right.
Okay. But what we do is we bring in these micro space gardens and we help people grow like the astronauts do on, the space station. So we donate, these little space gardens to classrooms, around the Houston area. So if you want to sponsor, you just send us an email at info@nicolesgarden.org. Not only do we bring in that space garden, we deputize them as junior space farmers. We have a cute seed planting ceremony. We show them how food comes from the seed to the actual fruit, to actually being able to taste it. A lot of the kids that, start eating the greens and lettuce from their little local space garden, they've never had greens or fresh food before. And in the beginning, it was heartbreaking to know that this was the first time that a 7 or 8 year old was ever eating a piece of lettuce or ever eating an herb.
You have got to be kidding me, Dr. Noreen.
I'm telling you, and it's right here in Houston. We have so many food deserts, and that's why it's so important that Nicole's Garden exists. And that's why we're here, just to give back to the community. And that's why our signature event is Health Fest, which is a free family event. It is a one-day, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., all free. We've got live music. We've got live fitness demos. We have sunrise yoga. We have sunset yoga. We have vendors, so you can buy green products. We have health screening on site. We have a kids zone. It is all free. So we don't make money. This is how we get people to, get up close and personal with health in a way that's fun, accessible for everyone. There are a lot of festivals around the city. Some of them are targeted at children or families or alcohol, and they cost. And that really takes out a large segment of our community. So if you're interested in becoming a vendor or a sponsor, again, just email us and or just go to healthyfestival.com or nicolesgarden.org. All of the information is there. We're updating our site frequently, but we need the support of Houston, because if you're selling the juice, if you're selling the clean foods, and people don't know where you're located, then you're missing out on customers. Okay. Yeah. I want to taste the jackfruit sandwiches, and we had jackfruit sandwiches last year. Jackfruit is like a substitute for meat. And, the way you it's a fruit. It's a fruit vegetable kind of hybrid, but it's really a fruit. You cut it in slices, and some people think it tastes like pork. I mean, it definitely has a meat flavor. You flavor it up, and I'd never had jackfruit. I'd been wanting it for so long. And I said, wow, this really does taste like some kind of meat. I feel like I'm having some kind of, maybe a tuna salad or some kind of sandwich, but some people will fry it. I mean, you just want to expose people to what is out there that is now locally available. Because a lot of people, especially in communities of color, and especially in communities that are at risk in terms of getting the chronic diseases that are preventable, like diabetes, like high blood pressure, they just don't have the access. But what they do have access to is packaged foods that, when you turn over the label, has hundreds and thousands of chemicals on there, because some of those chemicals are hidden in a catch-all name in one ingredient. So you think you're getting 10 ingredients, but behind one of those names, there might be about 100 different flavoring additives that tricks your brain into thinking that you're having that flavor that it is not really there. Fascinating.
You listen to Access Houston. We're talking to the Tox Doc, Dr. Noreen Khan-Mayberry, 2019 here. She's here to tell us some tips about health and detox in 2019. Her book, Talking Toxicology, Recognizing, Understanding, and Reducing Toxic Exposures, is available now. So give us a health detox tip or two for 2019.
And one thing I just want to say, we start off the year with these awesome New Year's meals.
Resolutions. I'm going to do this,
some of which are really not very healthy. But we're still going to eat them. I can't tell someone, hey, you can't have that, black-eyed peas. That's good luck. But I can tell you that there's a lot of sodium in those meals. And right now, we just talked about, heart disease. We talked about high blood pressure. We talked about diabetes. And excessive levels of sodium and sugar are a big issue. They are big contributing factors. So my first tip is always get back on the water and hydrate, because you're diluting what's in your system when you drink more water. And there are some of us who just really just have a hard time getting water down. So I'm always recommending that you add something to your water
to help you,
just drink it. If you like fresh berries, just throw some in your water. within 15 to 20 minutes, the flavor is there. It's amazing. You think you have to steep it overnight. You don't. Put in a few leaves of mint. Ginger is absolutely my favorite. And some people say, look, Dr. Noreen, I am not going to skin ginger. Well, you don't have to. Just cut it sideways, and throw it in there. I mean, it takes less than 2 minutes. I do
cucumber in my water at the house.
So good. So
refreshing.
Good for you. It's and it's extra hydrating because you've got that hydrating, cucumber in there plus the water. So you've got a super hydrated drink. I mean, just put something in there and drink that water because it is so worth it. There are so many people that are on dialysis. I see way too many dialysis commercials because people's kidneys have given out. Okay, now your kidney, and I talk about this in Talking Toxicology, and let me just say this. Don't hear that title and think that you can't understand this book. This is a book that was written for non-toxicologists. I wanted toxicology to be accessible to everybody. Anytime you enter a home, someone's car, a building, and you breathe, and outdoors, you're breathing a different mixture of chemicals. So I wanted to teach you how to recognize what could be toxic and how to reduce it at home. So it is a very easy read. It is not a toxicology book for toxicologists.
You wrote it in layman's terms.
Absolutely.
So kind of like Toxicology for Dummies.
Absolutely. And you can get it, on Amazon, or you can get it on my website. But that being said, it is an excellent resource for absolutely everyone to have in their home, at their office, so that when you're, let's say you go into work, and every time you go into work, you start having an allergy-like symptom, or you start to feel tired or confused, or you're sneezing all the time. And then when you leave work, within 20, 30 minutes, you start to feel better. You go back to work, you get the same symptoms. The source of that toxic exposure could be in the office. This book helps you understand what to say, how to present it to, hey, I don't know if it's the cleaning products that we're using in here, or I don't know if it's the HVAC system that's pumping in, really, really high amounts of chemicals because it's just an old system. So that's something, that I love to talk about. But then I'm going to go back to the hydration point.
Yeah, I want to go back to the hydration because off the record, we were talking about drinking water. Yes. I've been drinking water, nothing but water, since 2005. I was dealing with some acne issues, and this girl that I was seeing, she was like, "You ain't drinking enough water. Like, look at your face." So I had bought one of these jugs here, the bigger one, the liter one. And I had to force myself to drink this water. Probably after literally forcing myself.
Yes, I understand.
After about 3 weeks, it was habit.
Right.
And
it doesn't take that long. I didn't want to drink anything else. And I was always looking for my water bottle, whereas it carried it everywhere. So absolutely.
It is true. 21 days, like how you can break a habit in 21 days. I mean, you can also continue or get in the habit after 21 days. And since 2005, I drink nothing but water. Here and there, I'll have, some juice, or I don't drink soda really,
or
not unless, I don't drink soda at all really, not unless I'm like eating a lot of pizza and I need to burp or something. And
I don't blame you for not drinking soda because there's so many chemicals in soda. And really the worst actor in soda to me is the high fructose corn syrup, because high fructose corn syrup is actually as toxic, if not more toxic, to your liver than as alcohol is.
Shut up.
These are both liquids, ethanol and high fructose corn syrup that will directly kill liver cells. Now, the liver, when you're talking about detox, that is the only organ that actually detoxes. I hear a lot of the misuse of the word detox is just rampant. Like, there's no such thing as a 3-day or a 7-day detox. What you're getting is an infusion of micronutrients when you drink that 3 days of juice. It's good for you, but it's not making something less toxic. Literally, the meaning of detox is to make something less toxic. How your body does that is your liver will get everything that comes into your body, will filter through your kidneys, then your liver, and your liver will work to either make it less toxic or non-toxic. Okay? Now, the really, really bad stuff, your liver cannot work on. And if you've got something that's actually killing your liver cells, that's less of an opportunity for your body to detoxify. And then your liver becomes fatty, and then your liver becomes less efficient, and then you start to get the fat around the waistline. You start to get tired all the time. The liver really controls everything because it's your garbage disposal in your body.
Okay.
So imagine if your garbage disposal starts to not work as efficiently at home, how your home starts to stink.
Okay?
Yeah.
And the sink is clogged up.
There you go. That's what's going on in your body. So that's why, as a toxicologist, again, everybody needs to understand that toxicology and toxins and toxicants affect us at all times. Now, toxins are natural, chemicals like your mold at really high levels, or, bacterias and viruses. Those fall into the toxin category. Toxicants are that man-made stuff. Everybody calls everything toxins, which is fine, not that big a deal to me. But truly, toxicants is everything, natural and unnatural. Toxins is really reserved only for what is a natural chemical that can be harmful.
You're listening to Access Houston, talking to the Tox Doc, who has given us some health and detox tips for 2019. Yes. And this very interesting conversation that we were having off air, I told her, I was like, no, stop. We're going to stop talking about this and save it for on air.
Yes.
With the alkaline water craze and movement that is going on. Now, it seems as though every year there is a superfood or some sort of health and food trend that all of these companies, jump on, be it avocado, be it apple cider vinegar. What else has it been over the years? Gluten-free.
Acai berries.
Acai berries.
Maki berries.
Yeah.
I mean, just everything that you can think of.
Like
Cranberry, whatever it is.
It's like the flavor of the year. The kale. Yeah, the kale kick. And so now we're on this alkaline water kick, all about the
getting
pH
your
balance.
body more alkaline.
People are buying Essentia by the pounds. I myself bought a alkaline water picture from off of Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's so silky smooth. But
it is silky because it's a base. Now you wash your clothes in bases. Those Tide Pods, those are high pH bases. Okay, higher the pH, the more basic or alkaline that water is. It's a saponic, so it has that silky feeling. Okay, but it's not really good for your esophagus long term to be drinking something at a really high pH.
So you're saying we should not be drinking alkaline water regularly, like that's the only type of water that you drink.
Absolutely. So when I say hydrate, that I put on my top 10 list on social media, hydrate, I said, but with purified water, not alkaline. And people kept saying, okay, why? I'm drinking this alkaline water. And I said, okay, let's just unpack that, because I did a little shutdown show, which is still posted online, and I talked about this. The reason that I'm saying that is because think about your stomach acid. It is a very, very low acidic pH. It ranges anywhere from 2 to 4, depending upon the person. And you know why? It's because that acid is needed to break the food down. Now, you're adding something that this bottle right here says 9.5 pH or higher.
Right.
Now, again, when you go into the higher levels, 11, 14, that is a cleaning product, even if it's just water. Okay. Ooh. So when you tell me 9.5 or higher, well, how high is that? Okay. And I get that it's feeling silky and it feels nice, but no. Long term, it is harmful. Okay, because you do not need something basic that often. Now, when I do recommend drinking alkaline water, let's say you have acid reflux. Let's say you routinely have acid reflux and you don't have that in check. Then when you add that alkaline water, it actually helps to soothe the esophagus so that you can, because acids and bases work together to get where? Neutral, pH 7. pH 7 water is what we should be drinking on a routine basis. Alkaline water is something that you go to from time to time when you have an issue in your body. So let's just talk about that. For those who are going to push back and say, oh, no, that's not a problem. Remember chemistry. Remember chemistry class when you mixed acids and bases together?
Yes.
What did they do? They changed pH. So you're adding a lot of bases to an environment that was naturally created to be very acidic in your stomach, okay? This water that you drink in is going to pass through your stomach. So the whole concept of making your body more alkaline by drinking alkaline water is totally shut down once it hits the stomach, because again, acids and bases react, totally changes the pH of the alkaline water as soon as it hits your stomach.
So when we are drinking alkaline water and the water hits our stomach and those two combine, like what level are we at?
It depends. Again, it depends on how much alkaline water you're drinking versus the content of
the acid in your
stomach. So you've got a very acidic, gastric acid in your stomach that is there to break down foods, especially the animal products and the plant products, because plant cells are indigestible. So it's actually breaking all of that down so that it can get into our gut and actually be absorbed as nutrition. Your food is not absorbed as nutrition until it gets into the gut. Right. In order to do that, it has to be stripped down to a level. What does that is your stomach acid. Right. So when you continually add this basic water, you are changing your stomach acid. And I've had several people say to me, Tox Doc, I don't feel that great. My stomach's been bothering me. All of them have been women, and generally because women talk about their stomach issues more than men do, and they tend to pay attention. And I said, are you drinking alkaline water? Oh, yeah, I'm drinking that Essentia. I said, well, that's one of the highest pH waters on the market. I said, and how about you stop that? Just stop it for a few days and tell me how you feel. They come back to me and they say, oh, my God, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
You were messing with your stomach's, pH. You were, because they were drinking a lot. Mm-hmm. They were using it as their everyday drink.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Yeah. You are really schooling us. So just on so to be clear, for those of you that may have missed it, only drink the alkaline water when
you have an issue such as acid reflux, and you've got acid coming up from your stomach to your esophagus, and you want to counteract that highly acidic environment, get back to a neutral pH. That is when you need it.
That is when you need it. Yeah. Now, the regular water that we should be drinking, it should have a pH of 7.
7. Neutral.
And are there any particular, or I don't know, I'm sure you probably have tested the different brands of water, be it Ozark, be it Fiji, be it Essentia, be it just a regular Houston tap water.
Absolutely. My favorite water comes from a spring that has been then treated with ozone or reverse osmosis. You don't find a lot of ozone treated water here. The reason I like ozone is just, oxygen with a third, level of oxygen. So instead of O2 that we have in air, it's O3. So when you're using it as a disinfecting product, it will kill practically everything that might be a biohazard in that spring. Because again, springs are natural. Right. So you clean it with that and then you drink it. So it's got the minerals, it's got the natural minerals that you need from the spring. Okay. But yet it has killed all of those biohazards.
Now, I'm glad that you mentioned minerals, because that was one of the main reasons as to why I began to drink the iodine alkaline water, because I was told that it has the minerals in there which will help restore things in your nervous system and all of that. And so I was like, I wanted the incredible sensitivity back on certain body parts, so let me drink the alkaline water. And maybe like day 1 or 2 I was like, oh man, this works. Right. I'm back. I guess I'm getting the minerals out of this. But now that you have educated me and the listening audience, and it's not necessary.
Right. And it's not that you won't feel a difference when you start drinking alkaline water. You absolutely will. But again, long term, you can't
do it all the time.
Right. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a good difference. The difference that results after drinking it for a long time is actually, you're screwing with your stomach's ability to break down food.
Wow. Dr. Noreen schooling us this morning. Before you get out of here, oh my gosh, I can't believe that we've talked the whole segment. Oh, wow. Let's talk about the Houston Fest, the Health Fest Houston, and the Mad Hatter's Luncheon. Not to be confused with our Mad Hatter.
I know, right? He should be there. So funny. So our Mad Hatter's Luncheon is Saturday, January 12th, so next Saturday at Fleming's Steakhouse from 11 to 1. It's a very, very beautiful, wonderful, fun luncheon. We want people to put on their fanciest hats. We've got prizes and surprises, but it's also an awards luncheon. So we're recognizing people who've made an impact around the city. And so it's very exciting. It helps put together seed money for Health Fest Houston. So when people come in as a host committee member on Health Fest, it's generally $150 to support as a Health Fest host committee member. Well, this year you also get the luncheon included with that.
Oh, nice.
So you're getting 2 for 1. The fun luncheon. We're going to have a second line. We're going to have upbeat music. We're going to have, fun. Bottomless mimosas are available as well, again. So it's going to be so much fun, and tickets are still available. Go to nicolesgarden.org/shop, or just go to our Facebook page, and just get your ticket there. We are so excited. We are almost close to selling out. So if you like to dress up, derby chic, you love a good hat, and who doesn't love a good, exciting hat? And you want to be the queen of the Mad Hatters, definitely, or the king, because I know there are a lot of guys that can really rock a hat and really can do that derby chic thing. So come on out. We would love to have you there, and it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so exciting.
And that's this Saturday, January the 12th at Fleming's.
Yes, at Fleming's.
Dr. Noreen, man, we could easily talk the whole hour.
I know.
Yeah, but half the show is good enough. This is some good stuff.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming on.
I'd love to come back anytime.
You know what? We're going to set something up.
Absolutely.
I think that would be very beneficial.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it.
And KG, thank you so much for what you do to the community. Thank you for being an example to the people of Houston. Thank you for sharing your own health issues and struggles, because a lot of times people feel alone and isolated.
Yeah.
So you're out there, letting them know that they're not, and it's okay to speak up about your health, especially as a Black man.
Yeah.
That is just so impactful to so many people. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Dr. Noreen. Hell, I didn't even think about it like that.
Oh, you just don't know.
I don't know. I'm just me. I'm transparent. I tell my story.
Exactly.
And I have realized that some of my stories, like me just talking about it on air or whatever, or being at an event, like people really do come up to me like, hey, I went through that. I did that. Oh, I was afraid to do this. Like you.
Yes.
So, wow.
One of my biggest tips on mindset is putting out there your honest and authentic self, so that it will come back to you.
Yes.
Again, there's so many things that we can choose to be united about instead of divided about. Don't fall for it. People will try you, but if people aren't worth it, because a lot of times the people that try you mean nothing in your life. Learn to discern who actually means something and who doesn't, because stress reduction is the foundation for health.
Indeed. Oh, I love you. It's the Tox Doc.
Love you
Dr.
too.
Noreen Khan-Mayberry. Thank you for coming on. And Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year.
And thank you for listening to Access Houston.